Alright, in this video, we are going to solve this problem right here. So let me make it a little bit larger. Alright, Jill was training for a triathlon, so she planned a day of exercising. She spent a total of 2 hours riding her bike and running. She biked for 12 miles and ran for 6 miles. Her rate for running was 10 miles per hour, less than her biking rate. What was her rate when running? Alright, so now let's go ahead and try to figure this out. So we know that the formula that we probably want to use in this case is distance equals rate times time. All right, so we know that the distance that she biked plus the distance that she ran, all right, will equal the total distance, all right? So we know that Jill biked for 12 miles and that she ran for 6 miles. So she went 18 miles total. All right, now here is the thing that we also know. We know that her running rate, all right, so running was 6 miles at 10 mile per hour less than her biking rate. All right, so if we know that these 12 miles were done at a rate of, say, let's just call it B for the biking rate, right? Then we know that this running rate was 10 miles per hour less than her biking rate. So she did this at B minus 10 mile per hour. So this will be B mile per hour and B minus 10 miles per hour. All right, now, all we know is that we have the time that Jill biked plus the time that Jill ran will equal the total time. All right, so now here is the thing. We know that she spent a total of 2 hours, right? 2 hours total actually biking and running. All right, now here is the thing. We know what the time is. The time, if we divide by rate, distance divided by rate will actually equal the time. Right? So for the biking, we know the distance and we know the rate. Right? It's 12 miles at a rate of B mile per hour. So that would be 12 divided by B. Then we know the distance and the rate ran. It is 6 miles, and the rate would be minus 10 mile per hour, 10 mile per hour less than her biking rate. So that will be the distance 6 divided by B minus 10, and then that will equal the total time of 2 hours. Now all we do is solve this equation right here. So there are lots of ways to do this, but one way is to just clear the fraction. So we can multiply by b times the b minus 10, and b times b minus 10, and b times b minus 10. All right, so then that means that the b will divide out, the b minus 10 will divide out, and so we have here, right? And instead of b minus 10 times 12, we can write 12 times b minus 10 if we would like. And then here we have 6b, and then equals to 2b times b minus 10. Then distribute the 12, so 12b minus 120 plus 6b is equal to, distribute the 2b to the second minus 20b. And then I'll combine like terms here on each side. So 12b plus 6b is 18b. So 18b minus 120 is 2b squared. And I hope that you can still see this, but for some reason my computer here just actually for some reason I think it may have stopped, but we'll I will I think well we'll keep on going apparently. All right, so then that's 2b squared minus 20b. Right now, let's get the equations that equal to 0 so that we can factor and use the zero product property to figure out what the b is here. All right, so now let's see. So let's subtract the 18b from each side. So we have negative 120 is equal to 2b squared minus 38b. Then add the 120 to each side. So 0 is 2b squared minus 38b plus 120. We'll divide by 2 on each side that's the GCF, the greatest common factor, to make this a little bit easier for us to say factor here. And then all right, let's factor this. So this is 0 equal b minus, that should be 15, b minus 4, and you can check to make sure that works. And then b minus 15 would be equal to 0, and b minus 4 will be equal to 0, so b could be 15, or b could be 4. Now here is the real issue, is that, all right, b can actually not be 4, because if b were 4, then remember, Jill biked 12 miles at b miles per hour, and she ran 6 miles at b minus 10 miles per hour. And so if b was 4, right, then since 4 minus 10 is negative 6, we were saying that Jill actually ran a negative 6 miles per hour, and that doesn't make sense. So I would say that's not the case, and that b must be 15, and that Jill biked at 15 miles per hour, and then 15 minus 10 is 5. So Jill actually ran at, a rate of 5 miles per hour. All right, so there you go. That is how I would go ahead and solve a problem like this. Thank you and have a great day.